A distant rumble breaks the silence of a sleeping continent. In the 13th century, the Mongols stormed from the steppe, their shadows swallowing empires whole. No banner flew untouched. No city stood unscathed. From Kiev's smoldering ruins to Hungary's blood-soaked fields, millions fell to an enemy without mercy. Picture a world where every sunrise carried the weight of dread. The Mongols didn't just conquer, they tore the soul from civilizations, leaving ghosts in their way. Their armies moved like a plague, swift and unrelenting, splitting forces, striking in winter's grip. They turned Europe's knights and walls into relics of a fading age. Yet, in the heart of devastation, a spark of resistance flickered. Hungary's King Bifur, broken by the horrors of 1241, refused to let despair claim his kingdom. He saw the Mongols hunger not for land. Stone castles rose across Hungary, each a defiant oath against the horde's siege machines. His dream was audacious, to forge a nation unyielding, where every hill became a stronghold. He traded pride for alliances, welcoming Cumans and Polish dukes as kin. The Mongols danced on open plains, their arrows a storm from horseback. But new knights, clad in steel, met them in brutal, unyielding combat. In 1285, the horde returned, led by Teluga and Nogai, their eyes gleaming with conquest. They found no plunder, only deserted villages and walls that mocked their might. The Carpathians turned traitor, burying the Mongols in snow and starvation. Hungarian scouts, cloaked as steppe warriors, slipped through their ranks, stealing secrets. King IV, watched the invaders stumble. His forces struck like a blade, turning the Mongols' speed into their undoing. The clash at Pest was a reckoning, not a battle. Hungarian knights charged, their armor gleaming, shattering the horde's fragile confidence. Teluga's retreat became a massacre, ambushed by local tribes who wielded the Mongols' own tactics. By 1286, the invaders were a broken remnant, fleeing in shame. Poland bled under the same lash, its fields razed, its people chained. Yet, Hungarian lords rode north, their swords a rare gesture of brotherhood in a divided land. The Mongols' power was their unity, their decimal system forging warriors into a single will. Europe's curse was its fractures, kings and emperors lost in petty wars. Giovanni da Pian del Carpini, a friar defying age and fear, trekked to the Mongol capital. His book begged Europe to mirror the horde's discipline, but pride deafened the mighty. Carpini saw the truth. The Mongols ruled through terror, not devotion. Free their vassals, he urged, and the empire would crack like brittle ice. His pleas echoed in vain as France and England clashed, oblivious. The Holy Roman Empire splintered, its princes too stubborn to heed the warning. Still, the Mongols weren't gods. Their empire groaned under its own ambition. Civil wars, the Black Death, and nature's wrath began to erode their iron grip. Hungary seized the moment, reclaiming lands in 1345, while Lithuania and Moscow pushed back. The Golden Horde, once unstoppable, staggered under its own weight. The siege of Kaffa in Crimea turned the tide. Genoese ships, armed with cannons, broke the Mongol siege, heralding a new age of defiance. By the 14th century, the horde's raids were mere whispers of their past. Europe, scarred but resilient, emerged from the steppe's long shadow. Castles stand today, silent sentinels of a time when hope defied oblivion. They whispered of a king who turned ruin into rebirth. But the cost was unimaginable. They reshaped the spirit of a continent. What does it mean to stand when the world seems lost? Hungary's defiance was woven from ingenuity, not might, a legacy carved in stone. The Mongols exposed Europe's fragility, its pride a chain heavier than any siege. Their story is a warning. Division is the true conqueror. We marvel at their conquests. But what of those who resisted? The scouts who vanished into enemy ranks, the knights who charged into certain death. Their courage wasn't born of glory, but of necessity. They fought not for fame, but for the right to see another dawn. Consider Kiev, once a beacon of trade and faith, reduced to a few hundred souls. Its survivors didn't just rebuild, they carried the weight of a lost world. Or Poland, where 70% of settlements burned, yet people returned to barren fields. Their resilience wasn't defiance, it was a quiet, stubborn hope. The Mongols' genius was their adaptability, learning from every foe. Europe's salvation was its ability to learn from failure, to evolve under pressure. His alliance with the Cumans, once enemies, was a He saw strength in those the world called savages, turning outcasts into guardians. The Venetian crossbowmen sought were no mere mercenaries. Their bolts could pierce Mongol armor, a symbol of innovation born from desperation. Even the church, often a bystander, stirred to action. Pope Innocent IV sent Carpini to face the unknown, seeking knowledge where others saw only fear. Carpini's journey was more than diplomacy, it was a pilgrimage for truth. His notes, scribbled in the shadow of Karakoram, armed Europe with hope. The Mongols' withdrawal wasn't victory, but survival. Europe didn't defeat the horde. It outlasted it, through grit and sacrifice. Think of the Hungarian scouts, blending into the enemy's ranks. Their courage was invisible, their names lost, yet their cunning turned the tide. Or the Saxons and Vlachs, local tribes who ambushed Toluga's retreating army. They weren't knights or kings, but their arrows wrote history. The Mongols' legacy isn't just destruction, it's a lesson in hubris. They fell because they believed themselves eternal, as all empires do. Europe's survival wasn't inevitable. It was forged in choices. Every castle built, every alliance made, was a step toward dawn. Today, we face our own storms: division, fear, uncertainty. The Mongols' shadow lingers in our refusal to unite against shared threats. What does it take to stand when the odds are impossible? Didn't win by strength, but by seeing what others ignored. The past isn't just a story, it's a challenge. Will we learn from those who face the horde, or repeat their mistakes in new forms? When the next tempest comes, will you build walls alone, or stand with others? Share your thoughts. What does it mean to defy the unbeatable?